like giving up is not an option. So you just have to push through, you have to deliver. But I don't really think it's worth it, to be honest. So I'm Julius, I'm from Stuttgart. I was born in Dresden, but raised in Stuttgart with a lot of good friends, and I attended the Waldorf school, which was, in my opinion, one of the most important decisions of my parents, because basically with the same people for 13 years, which was really nice. And after school, did 1 year boarding school. It was also really important for my development, I would say, and I decided for Maastricht in the Netherlands, where I live right now, and I'm focusing on law and international relations at the University College Maastricht. And right now I'm in Bali. Today, hopefully, we will go to Java, and then I'm off to Australia for my semester abroad in Brisbane. I didn't expect it, but now I have to deal with it. I think I have my methods to deal with it. So first of all, when I decided for this program, I didn't know that much about it. And it was more because of the study program. First of all, because international relations for the bachelors is not that usual in Germany. And the pressure, I think it's more how you deal with it. It's more this 1 week where we have exams, which is every 7 weeks. So we have periods. One semester has 3 periods. Every single period we have 1 exam week. And in this exam week, it's pretty tough. It's more like, I always say, you have so much to do. You have so many deadlines that you don't really think about the pressure. It's more like you have to get it done. It's impossible to get everything 100% done. That's impossible, and it's also sometimes a little bit tricky and a little bit disappointing and frustrating as well. But it's more you and the flow, and then the pressure, it's part of it. But I don't really think it's worth it, to be honest. I didn't expect it, but now I have to deal with it. I think I have my methods to deal with it, so. For me personally, what I think is key to manage the pressure is time management and a quite rigid planning of the day. So I always, when I wake up, I always change the location, because if you start working in your room, it doesn't work. You're distracted, you have food next door, you have your housemates next door, so that doesn't work. So always change the scenery, go to the library, and just push through. I think what helped me a lot in this mentality, to push through mentality, was my short ballet career of 4 years on a professional ballet school in Stuttgart. Like, giving up is not an option. So you just have to push through, you have to deliver. And for me, it's also, I always think about nice things afterwards. So for example, the last weeks in exam week, Bali was a big thing in my head where I worked towards. I think thinking about the nice little things in life, if it's like a dinner with your girlfriend in the evening, a little movie night with your friends, think about that during studying, and also see studying as something important for yourself and not just for getting the exams done. That's really important, because sometimes I also lose this balance. For example, I play rugby, and for me rugby is super important to get a balance between studying and sports and life and just health. And I didn't do it for 1 month in January, and I was feeling completely distracted during studying, not balanced in my approach to life right now. So I think that's so important. And also, just for Maastricht University College, not that many people fail, because we are a selected study program. So you don't get in just because you want to. And that means they only let people in when they expect they can manage the program and manage the pressure. For example, I never study after 8. Only if it's like a deadline the next day and I haven't done that much. But for me, this cut, I get up at like 9, study basically the whole day, but then I stop at 6. And then there's a cut, and then I can do nice things with my girlfriend. I cook a lot, which is also really important, because good food is really important for focus. Of course, your brain needs some things to work with. That's a question I think about a lot. I think it's one of the questions I struggle most with. I mean, what I do, I try to get good grades. I try to get a good bachelor so I can do a good master program. And that's all focused on, in the end, have a good job, get a lot of money, to basically spend this money in maybe 25 days of holiday, which is normal in the German system. And this idea of having an influence is really attractive for me, but it's always connected. Also, getting a good life standard is always connected with a lot of work. There's like the smallest amount of people make money without working a lot. And I feel like the most alive, or the happiest, when I'm traveling, and when I'm, or not just traveling, but also just experience new things with friends and everything. And I think that comes short if you work 60 hours a week. So I haven't found a answer to this question yet, for me personally. But I think maybe like a construct where you work for the first 20 years of your life pretty hard, or because I also like working. It's not like it's a torture for me or something. It's I like to put effort in. I like to see the result. I like to also to have an impact on a situation or on people, but not for my entire life. And it's not like I want to work that much that I can sustain the same living standard later on. But if you work a good amount, then have this money for later and don't have the highest standards and do something like, I don't know, 4 days a week, or I don't know, 9 months working, 3 months off or something. I think that would be the ideal system, but also with kids and everything, it's a lot to think about. But yeah, I haven't found an answer to this question yet. It's a lot of waffling. Yeah, we're still in the development, right? We still find our way. We still, yeah. So, first of all, I don't know about the school system in Indonesia. My only experience is Waldorf school in Germany. But I did some research in my research project last year about school system, especially in Germany. And I think it's definitely not the best system. I mean, especially the public system is quite weak in my opinion, because first of all, this thing with selecting people in 5th grade doesn't work. It's just you're not developed as much. Some people develop late, some people develop too early, and then there's a cut in the development. So I always say the system of the Waldorf school combined with some changes would be the perfect system. So you have, I think, 11 years or something before you decide which degree you want to pursue. You have a focus on the individual and not only on what you deliver. And it's just, I think it's just more personal. And the relationship also between the teachers and the students is also just more focused on the study experience than the outcome. I don't know about moral compass, but for me, one of the most important thing is tidiness. Tidiness, do you say that like that? Yeah, cleanliness, tidiness. So if I come back from a day of studying, I don't know, 8 hours of studying, and my room is not in a perfect condition, the first thing is I clean up. Because I need order to get things done. And also a thing, I saw it on YouTube. It was a US officer or something from the Navy or something, and he said, first important thing you have to realize is if you make your bed in the morning, that's the first success in your day. And then if your day is shit, you come back home and you still see a nicely done bed, and that cheers you up. And if your day was good, you just build on this first success on your day. I think that was a really good picture of what tidiness or cleanliness means for me. And philosophy in life, it's push through. Just like don't think about things too much. Just start it and try to get it done. Because if you don't even start, but first think about it 2 hours, it will not get easier. So just start and try your best and get things done. I mean, I want happy children, which hopefully have a still livable planet to live in, and they should also have children, hopefully, to have a good, like a livable planet. And hopefully I think the German idea is to work a lot, because then when I'm 65 I have time for things, for, I don't know, my hobbies, sailing or whatever. And I think that's stupid, that's dumb, because then you're old, you don't have the energy anymore, you don't have the will maybe anymore, because you worked so much, so you're tired of life. So hopefully still have the energy to do things and sit somewhere with a view on the Lake Constance. Yeah, drinking some beer, enjoying life with friends. I hope I have a lot of friends still when I'm old, because I think, yeah, that's the most important thing. It's quite on the same level like family for me. Because in Maastricht I don't have family. I only have friends, and yeah, that works quite well.